submitted for the approval of my viewers. I call this story The Tale of the Book Haul. Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic 90s nerds to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yep, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers and everything in between. So today, though, we're going to be talking more on the horror side of things. We'll be doing another vintage horror book haul. You guys know how much I love that. So we're gonna get right into it right after this short intro. I'll scoot my book cart over and we'll dig in. Okay guys, we're back and it's time to get into it! Let's look at the vintage horror! I'm so pumped, I love these videos. They're so much fun. And it keeps me into my addiction of buying these paperbacks. Alright, so first one is actually one that I did not get in the store. I found it on Etsy, and so I didn't buy it in person. I bought it online, which I try not to do, but sometimes I do it. Whatevs. I also don't know about this one because I've actually heard mixed things about it. Will Erickson has kind of dissed it, whereas on the other hand, one of my favorite YouTubers, Leon, the Paperback Maniac from Paperback Mania channel, he actually loves this book, and it is Fear by R. Patrick Gates. And here you can see it's published by Onyx, and this was published in 1988. Good stuff. I love the cover, so even though people don't agree on the contents, I think we can all agree that the cover is freaking awesome. Look at those skulls that this, I guess, kid is floating around with. Floating skulls. Anyway, if you guys have read this, let me know in the comments below if you did like it or didn't, because I'd like to get some more opinions on this, and I probably will read it just to see for myself. Because why not? I love to read things. This is Carnival by William W. Johnstone. I'm definitely going to be reading this one because I've already read Toy Cemetery. I might as well have another Johnstone book to compare it to and see if they're all crazy as hell and batshit insane. We'll see. But I love carnival-themed things, anything to do with fairs, clowns, carnivals, all kinds of stuff like that, fun houses. I'm going to be doing a whole future marathon with those types of books. I just don't know when. It's going to be more like a readathon, obviously, lots of thematic books, and I might combine some thematic movies in with that marathon as well. We'll see. It's way far away in the future. Alright, so the back says,
"Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Carnival!" The locals were ecstatic when the carnival pulled into Holland, Nebraska. They shrieked in delight on the lightning-fast rides. They gasped in shocked fascination at the chilling collection of freaks and human oddities. But all the while piercing red eyes glared out at the townies from the shadows of the midway. Eyes that burned with vengeful hatred. Eyes that lusted for blood.
I think this will be fun. This cover I really dig. It is Darkness on the Ice by Lois Tilton, and it's just a delightful, delightful cover. Obviously, we've got a vampire creature reaching out from the ice.
It was World War II, and the Nazis had found their perfect weapon.
So it's a Nazi vampire.
He was a vampire stalking his prey for the Nazi cause, but killing them for his own desperate hunger. Darkness on the Ice.
This one I also bought online, Dead Man's Float. Love the cover. And it really reminds me, honestly, of the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, Dead Man's Float. It's the same title. It's probably completely different stories, obviously, but it still makes me want to watch the show when I look at this cover. Every time I'm like, I want to watch that episode. So I might do a whole thing where I read this and watch the episode in the same month, because it is one of my favorite Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes. But yeah, the cover of this book really stands out, separate and apart from anything else. It is super, super creepy, super disturbing. Love it. Look at the air bubbles coming out of the mouth there. Lots of great detail. This one's published by Bantam, and it's really cool. The cover's alright, but when you pull back the cover and you see the step back art, that is what really hits the spot there. Look at that creepy kid looking at the other kid. It's like his evil twin or something. I love it! And the mom's just kind of oblivious, like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh no, nothing could be wrong. The other kid's like, hey, I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna take your place. I don't know why all of a sudden he sounds like a man in my impersonation, like some creepy old dude. This is published by Tor, A Manhattan Ghost Story by T.M. Wright. I have quite a few books by T.M. Wright. I would say this is not my favorite cover of the books I own of his, but for a few dollars at the bookstore. I said, why not add it to the collection? And for once, it's a book in decent shape that I found out in the wild. Usually the books I find out there are super messed up. This one I'm super happy with. You know, the cover's kind of subdued. It's not like in your face too much, but I still really like it. But what really got me was the description on the back of the book, and it makes me actually want to read it. So I think I'm gonna dig into this one for sure. This is Chiller by Randall Boyle. Obviously the cover is like a doll in a frozen block of ice. Almost looks like there's half of a skull design in that piece of broken off ice, or it's just a illusion. The back.
Why is my skin so cold, Daddy?
It's the doctor's fault, Darby. It was an experiment.
Why are we running away, Daddy?
The FBI is after your father. A bad man wants to kill you. The doctor wants to bury his secret in your grave.
Why am I melting away, Daddy?
Because you're dead, Darby.
This seems just delightful and marvelous. This is published by Harper from 1994, Darkling by Michael O'Rourke, and the cover illustration is actually by Kirk Reinert, who has done some of my favorite covers that I own, including Stallion. He's also done my edition of The Thief of Always by Clive Barker. He's done actually a couple of covers for Clive Barker books, including a cover for The Hellbound Heart, one of those older editions of The Hellbound Heart, and it's great. His talent is amazing. I love his work. But yeah, this one, I have a few scratches on the cover here, but I still picked it up because it was only a few dollars. Like a ghostly woman and another ghostly woman. This was published by Tor in 1982. It is Quarrel with the Moon by J.C. Conaway. Very simple cover, but I do think it's effective, and I still dig it. Ramsey Campbell's Dark Companions, and this is also published by Tor. Great cover. I believe the cover is by Jill Bauman, who's one of my favorite cover artists from this paperback from Hell Era. Yep, cover art by Jill Bauman. She's just insanely talented. Amazing artwork. Alright, this was published by Berkeley, and this edition is from 1981. This is Crooked Tree. Doesn't really look like a horror novel when you just glance at the cover. However, there is a die cut here, and we open it up to reveal some awesomely gory and graphic step-back art. Look at that. I guess it's a female shape with a bare head, just freaking digging into some dude's chest cavity. So bloody. So flippin' awesome, if you ask me. I love this step-back art. Insanely enjoyable. This is Carrion by Gary Brandner, and I gotta say, this edition's okay, but I believe there's a UK edition. I think it's a UK edition. It just is so much better than this. It knocks this one out of the water. This one's alright. I mean, like, melting goo, okay, whatever, that's cool. But man, look up the UK version of this and it'll just blow your mind. It's way better. I do wish I had that edition instead of this one, but still happy to have this one. Still awesome, and it's published by Fawcett Gold Medal. Don't Cry, Little Girl by Beverly Hastings. Simple as hell cover, but I still enjoy it.
It's too late to be afraid. Don't cry, little girl.
Just a girl peeking through some blinds. Obviously, she's afraid of something, though, that she's seen through the blinds. Or she's on the lookout for something. This is Breeder by Douglas Clegg.
A new horror is born.
This is Baby Grand by Joseph E. Keene and William W. Johnstone, another Johnstone title. And I've heard that the story's kind of trash, but I bought it really just for the cover. I mean, the cover is one of my favorites of all the paperback covers I own. I just think, look at that detail there. The skeleton even has some, like, loose hair on its skull. Oh, gosh. Just marvelous. And another cool part, the piano keys on the back. And we're jumping from one crazy author who writes about crazy things to another author who writes about insane things. Of course, this is Graham Masterton, and this is The Wells of Hell, and this story sounds really weird and very odd, but I'm intrigued. And so look at this spout of water here with evil eyes and faces coming out of the bucket, or maybe it's going into the bucket? I don't know. I think gravity would say it's coming out of the bucket and falling into the well, but still. Very strange. Here is the back.
The quiet old town of New Milford is as peaceful as a mill pond, until the water turns a hideously sinister color. Allison and Jimmy Bodine disappear. An unimaginable horror has its way with young Oliver Bodine, and the body of a young woman is discovered, the gory remains of a soulless beast. Far beneath the town, a torrent of evil as old as Satan has broken through the barriers to a new life. At first, a trickle. Now it is a torrent of destruction, devouring fresh victims for a demonic race that springs from the wells of hell.
Alright, and now we've got 2 cat-themed covers. This one's kind of more like a panther creature. I don't know, it looks a little more sinister than a cat. His fangs look bigger. But this is Night Brothers by Sydney Williams, and this is Witches by Catherine Meyer Griffith. I like how the cat in this one has pentagram symbols in his eyes.
Witches, they are everywhere.
And then back to this one quickly. Look at the dripping blood. This one's published by Pinnacle. Another Sydney Williams novel, Azarius, I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is also published by Pinnacle. I like the cover. It's simple, but it still works in my opinion. Look at that eye underneath all that broken glass, just staring into your soul, staring at you, glaring at you, being like, what are you looking at? Whatever. Oh yes, let me back up actually before I move on. So quickly, let's look at the tagline.
The world reeked of evil and smelled of death.
Yeah, evil is stinky apparently. In all these old school paperbacks, evil always smells bad. It always has a smell in general. It's just very strange. Also, the evil is always ancient. It can't be like a modern evil or a modern horror. It's always like ancient evil, older than hell, older than Satan. It's ridiculous. But in a fun, awesome way. I love these old school novels. Alright, here we've got Surrogate Child by Andrew Niederman, and this one's in rough shape. Lots of tape, but I still had to pick it up for like $1. Why not? Alright, we looked at Fear by R. Patrick Gates, and now this is Deathwalker by R. Patrick Gates. Very simple cover. Not much going on this cover. It's like a skull and some red slashes, but I wanted to have it. And this one's published by Dell, as you could see there. Dell Abyss. Nothing much in the back, more slashes. I guess they are bloody slashes, even though they don't look like they're dripping or anything. This one's published by Fawcett Crest, and this is not really a horror novel, I have to admit. This is Amusement Park. I bought it really just because I loved the cover, and I love how it looks like it's an accident happening at Amusement Park. It's probably more of a thriller. I just thought it'd be cool to have in my little collection, even though, like I said, it's not horror at all. But still enjoy this cover. Robert Stewart Nathan. You guys know how much I loved bandaged faces on covers. Here's another awesome find that I picked up at the used bookstore. It's a great bandaged face, under wraps type of cover. Just, I love it. It blows my mind. So yeah, just let's take a close look real quick. Look at the eyes. Not in the best shape. Doesn't bother me. I'm going to put it along with my other bandage face covers, including Facemaker by William Katz and Dearest by Peter Loran. And again, this one is Pan by J. Bernie Dibble, MD. So a doctor. This one actually seems really intriguing. I actually wouldn't mind reading it.
Science created him. Mankind rejected him. He was the first of a totally new species, the result of a unique scientific experiment, half man, half beast. He inhabited a world of shadows, torn between his human and animal natures. The conflict that raged within him threatened to destroy not only the success of the experiment, but Pan's own life, and the life of the one person who dared to love him.
Awesome description. This is The Attraction by B.W. Batten. Now, Leon from the Paperback Mania YouTube channel has said his name a little bit differently than I just did. And so I'm not really sure what the correct way to actually say Batten's name is, so I'm just going to say it that way. You guys know I'm bad at pronunciation. If you're longtime viewers of mine, you already know this. If you're a new viewer, I'm sorry, I'm bad at it. It's just the way it is. It's a thing. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, this is a simple cover, but still nice. And this was published by Fawcett Gold Medal. And I was actually extremely overjoyed when I saw a copy of this at the used bookstore I frequent. It's an old school copy of Harvest Home. Look at this thing. It's flippin' treasure. I can't believe I found it! I'm kind of upset about the condition of this. It was only like a few bucks. It was found at the bookstore. But she puts these pesky stickers on, and sometimes they come off really terribly. So I couldn't get it off nicely. It was already beat up to begin with, though. And I'm bummed because even the inner artwork is kind of faded and beat up and dirty. But still, look at that awesome step-back art there. Really quite nice. If it was only in better condition than this, that's alright. I'm sure I could find another copy of this down the road. This is The Playground by T.M. Wright, and T.M. Wright usually has wonderful covers. The other cover I showed you by him earlier in this haul isn't as good. This one's way better. Like I said, just the condition sucks. I love the flippin' swing with the kid's head poking out. Little do you know, it's kind of got like ghost arms and legs, and then when you turn it, it's like, oh, look, it's the eye of a flippin' demon dude. He's like, and the back's actually kind of fun sounding.
They summoned it in ignorance. The people of Good Crossing, mystics and mediums, some charlatans, some not, settled in this quaint old town to ply their trade, but all of them are dabbling dangerously with forces they cannot begin to comprehend until it's too late. The horror begins quietly enough, a stranger at the door, an unfamiliar hand reaching, the strange demonic children smiling, laughing, crouching, hiding. And then the violent storms. Something evil has come to Good Crossing, something against which there is no defense, something that descends like a hungry shadow, lurking beneath the wooden porches, whistling through the trees to claim the children in the playground.
Okay, and here we've got two books by the same author. This is Shadow Eyes and Blood Autumn. Catherine, I won't even try. P-A-T-A-C-E-K. I know I'm going to butcher it, so. But I love these covers. Very, very creative, unique. Whole bunch of eyes. That already creeps me out. Eyes flipping. Get out of here, eyes. It freaks me out. Don't blink at me. And then some mouths. They look like vampire teeth. Here we have another Douglas Clegg novel. Earlier we looked at Breeder. This is Neverland, which I heard is actually quite good. If you look close up, there's some menacing faces behind the shed and a swirling, I guess, force field or something. Maybe it's a portal to another world or something that the kid is standing in front of, and he's clutching a teddy bear. I love covers with teddy bears on them, and so this was awesome. And I heard this is a good book, and so I'm thinking I'm going to read it. Dark Father by Tom Piccarelli. Thirst of the Vampire by T. Lucen Wright. Cover is just fantastic. Creepy vampire guy. This was published by Pinnacle. I want to show you a little bit further away so you can see the blood dripping down here. I just said a second ago that I loved covers with teddy bears. Well, here's one by J.N. Williamson. Don't Take Away the Light. As you can see, a lone teddy bear on a chair. The window is open and it looks like it's blowing some air in. This cover's a little faded. I do wish it was a little brighter. Still, I'm kind of in love with this cover. Just the teddy bear thing, I don't know. I really enjoy it. And here we have two novels from Barry Wood, both quite beat up. There's The Killing Gift and an old school copy of The Tribe. Let's take a look at this one first, The Tribe. Look at that step back art. The Killing Gift. And if you look close in the eye, there's somebody screaming. Again, it's a rough copy. Still like it. And if we look on the back, there's a menacing lady.
Oh.
Here we have another rough copy. There's tons of tape on this cover. I still liked it. It's called Ghost Boy, and this is by Gene Simon. And if we look close, we do see the ghost boy mentioned in the title. There he is, just chilling by some tombstones. Hey, what's up? He's kind of glowing too. He's got this yellow glow around him and actually shooting out towards the sky right above him.
Martin has a secret. Tonight he's going to tell you. Once in a small town paralyzed with fear.
All these towns are paralyzed. Paralyzed with fear, paralyzed by evil, something. They're always paralyzed. Anyway.
Once in a small town paralyzed with fear, a sadistic human monster moved undetected, leaving a terrifying trail of bloody death and few clues. That was 25 years ago. Today, 2 more children have just been found brutally murdered. 11-year-old Jolie calls this town her new home. She calls the shy, strange boy named Martin her new friend. But Martin has a secret. He knows who the killer is, because he was the first victim. And unless he can stop the killings, Jolie is going to be the next one. In this town, every child has a reason to be afraid. Just ask Martin. Ghost boy.
This is The Witch of Sixkill, and this is pretty beat up as you can see, but it's not too bad, and I love it. And I might actually read this one day. Published by Leisure. One last look here. Of course, this is embossed, all raised, textured, red glowing eyes. And then finally, our last book to show off here, John Ferris, Sharp Practice. This is probably the book that I found that's in the best condition. I think the cover's really awesome. You'd think there'd be something behind here, but there isn't. It's not a die cut or anything. It's just a broken window. But it is embossed. You can feel the shutters and everything. The grooves. This is published by Tor. And the spine. The spine doesn't have any major creases, so I was happy about that. Alright guys, well that was it. That was my vintage horror book haul, and it was so much fun. Thanks for sharing all the excitement with me when I went through all the books. That's a lot of fun. It always makes it more exciting when I could share my finds with you guys, and you guys get to see my journey into book collecting, because, you know, I'm a new collector and a new book lover as well. So it makes it even more special that I get to talk with you guys and to share it with you. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and commenting below. Have you read any of these books that I showed today? Or do you own any of these books that I showed today? And if so, which ones? Let me know. I'd love to hear others' opinions about any of these titles, or any other titles that I didn't show that you might want to talk about. Just comment whatever you want down below. It really helps with the stupid YouTube algorithms, but even more than that, I just like talking with people, so it's just enjoyable for me regardless, just to comment back and forth with you guys. And if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so and hitting that bell so you never miss a video. There'll be tons more vintage horror book hauls to come. In fact, I've got more vintage horror books that I have right now behind me. I'm not going to do another book haul this second. But yeah, in a few weeks, we'll show you those. And I'm about to go to 2 out-of-town bookstores, so I might find some more gems and goodies. We'll see. But anyway, that's it for me this time, guys. Till next time, keep on killing it.